Uh, I think I'll at least say I believe it's really spot on that maybe the best we can do at this point is really to make sure what we each want to bring, which is one of the reasons why the deep dive conversation format is so interesting to me, and I feel that's part of what's needed. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff here. This has been a really rich conversation, and it's um, it's challenging, somewhat chaotic, because for one thing, it's just the scope of the topic is so vast. It's like floating through this unbelievably large space. And there's also passion, and there is then all of the management issues. So I feel that this we have done incredibly well today, uh, concerning sort of the level we've tried to take it to. It feels like it's been really trying to push the limits a little bit, more than a little bit. So that's it shows it can be done. I wanted to well, first of all, the general impression that I have at the moment is that I believe that there is a path through all of these issues, and that it's a path that has emerged um, from, let's say, the totality of all the minds and all the activities of all the people on Earth over a long, long time, and building on many of the traditions, where some of them have sort of brought us up to where we are and might need to be put behind. But there's certain, let's say, core values which have been beneath the surface all the time, and which are stressed with a special kind of passion, you could say, also these days. Equality is an example of one of those, I believe. And here's where I want to get to, that I think this has to be probably solved or approached on a deeper conceptual level, because the problem I see is that people use the same words with totally different meanings, without being aware of this fact. And other times, very often, we word ourselves very differently, and we actually want to go in the same direction. That seems quite clear. So this issue Stacy brought up about confirmation, this has been brought up several times actually, and that feels like also one of the, let's say, the micro agreements which could hold a lot of promise for avoiding this pattern of repetition, which has been pointed out by Jess Winder today and has been pointed out by others. Lucy Rist, she came with this metaphor of these post-it notes that are hung up, and I wanted to build on that metaphor, like, yeah, and it's like post-it notes hung up, and then nobody collects them, so they just all fall on the floor and sort of go in the garbage. And that's been, let's say, one pattern which has sometimes been observed in these conversations, which I feel is a bit of a waste of time, and pretty frustrating, more than it needs to be. And it seems to go with these monologues, um, which one person speaks, then the other, then the next, and there isn't really any sharing or confirmation or questioning. So this is why this 3-minute rule. I mean, I don't think it's any reason to necessarily follow it blindly, but it's certainly, let's say, a very promising option to usually try to keep it short. Now I'm going a little longer, but it's a while since I said anything, so it's quite a bit sort of having stacked up. Um, Questioning, that could be a way, using clarifying questions